but this is one of our representatives, Representative Jim Walsh. He is one of 10 representatives, those of you that know him, give him a cheer. Yes, thank you, Representative Jim. He is one of 10 of our representatives that came together and wrote a letter to AG Barr, Attorney General Barr, and they submitted that letter. So I've asked if one of them, and Jim graciously accepted, that he would come share a little bit about that letter and the heart behind the letter. How many of you know we need a little help from, you know, our friends? Yeah, we need a little help from our friends. So, and we're getting it. So Jim, come on up and talk to us about that letter. What's going on?
Thanks, Buck. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Thanks, Brooke, for your speech earlier. That was outstanding. So, I'll start today like I start many of these. The right of petition and of the people peaceably to assemble for the common good shall never be abridged. That's Article 1, Section 4 of the State of Washington's Constitution. That section was written for you here today. About a couple of weeks ago, a group of us did write that letter to U.S. Attorney Barr. And what we, well, I'm just going to read from it, all right? We are a group of state legislators in Washington representing districts that have suffered a long train of abuses by statewide elected officials and state bureaucrats who harass our people and eat out their substance. You may recognize that. That's language from the Declaration of Independence. Our governor's unchecked actions have taken various forms, mostly as emergency proclamations that have imposed hardships on the people of Washington. He has defined certain industry sectors and certain workers as non-essential and banned them from normal activity. He's prohibited certain merchants from opening their stores and shops. He's banned churches from gathering. He's erratically restricted the people's access to certain public parks, lands, and waters. He's cruelly limited Washingtonians' freedoms of assembly and worship. Each of these actions raises constitutional questions. We have worked diligently to address those questions within the parameters of our state's legal and governmental systems. But now we need your help. And now we need your help. I want to remind you quickly, in our system, there's a hierarchy of law. The highest law of the land is the state constitution. Beneath that is the revised Code of Washington, the statutory law of our state. With the revised Code of Washington, legislators must vote and the governor must sign law. Below that is the Washington Administrative Code. The Washington Administrative Code, known by its initials, WAC, is a system of bureaucratic rules that bureaucrats write for bureaucrats to use. No legislator ever votes on a WAC. No governor ever signs a WAC. But in the last few months, our governor has attempted to elevate administrative code above law. Is that right? It is absolutely not right. it is not lawful, and it is not constitutional. What I want you to do is help us maintain our proper system of checks and balances in your government. The best way we can do that is to demand a special legislative session over there under that dome in order for your elected representatives to act as they check and balance on the actions of one person, the governor. Please, he knows, yes. And this is something that needs to be done immediately because we face a constitutional crisis right now in Washington. And constitutional crises, they don't always start out seeming like crises. They start out seeming like programs to stay safe and stay home. They start out as seeming like small things, and then they grow and metastasize into big problems. This is a risk and a danger as old as government. The Gracchi brothers in ancient Rome, the Reichstag fire in Weimar Germany. They use crises to undermine Republican constitutions. Is that right? So here's what to do. Go online to ledge.wa.gov, G-O-V. Find your legislator wherever in the state you live. Send that legislator an email. You can do it online. There's a standard form. And demand a special session of the legislature now. Demand that the special session focuses only on reopening Washington. No other things. No capital gains tax. No affirmative action programs. No sex ed among kindergartners and second graders. Nothing extraneous, nothing outside the narrow focus of reopening Washington. And I'll leave you with this thought, which is so important to your gathering here today and to the idea that we are Washington. All political power is inherent in the people. And governments are delegated their just powers by the consent of the governed. And those governments operate to protect individual liberties. Those are your civil liberties. Those are your foundational rights. And that is Article 1, Section 1. The beginning of the state constitution. The first things it says. You are the people. The political power is inherent in you. You are Washington. Make Washington great again. Thank you.